Welcome to the Wildly Free Podcast. I'm your host, Hannah Plord, business mentor, 3-times founder, and marketing nerd. On this podcast, you'll learn how to break free from the traditional job world and pave your own path so that you can go all in on life. Grab your favorite warm drink and pull up a chair as we talk all things marketing, growth, strategy, and the real and raw sides of entrepreneurship. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I am so happy that you're here. You're going to learn in today's episode the best type of content to get more sales and leads every single time you post. And at the end, I'm going to be sharing with you 10 prompts you can use to get started creating this type of content. Listen, I've been using this method for 2 years now, and it's significantly simplified sales, increased my engagement, and it has helped me make $10,000 in sales in just 4 days. When I look at most people's content, and remember, I'm a marketing and business coach, I do content audits on the daily, I notice some really big mistakes that people are making. And it's funny because they come to me and they say, I'm doing every single thing right. I'm following the right strategy. I'm posting consistently. My content looks similar to Coach Sally's, but I'm not seeing results. What gives? And when I go take a look at their content, it's blaringly obvious to me, because I do this work, what they're missing. But I know that you know that storytelling is important. So I know you make sure to include it at least once or twice a month. But right now, your storytelling looks like you sharing your entire rags to riches story, which is incredible and amazing and something you should be proud of and share, of course. But storytelling goes way more deeper than that. And when you only focus on cycling through your educational content, your authority content, opinion content pillars, and you just cycle through these over and over again, you're missing an incredibly important part to content that's going to get those high-level buyers to actually move. The people that are hiding in your audience right now, they don't feel any sense of urgency to join your offers. And it's because your content is missing this. Anyone can create educational content. Literally, you can just go to Google, you can stalk someone else's page, you can do your research and create a pretty post in Canva. That's so easy. And that's we see this all the time with people who are just regurgitating what they see other people say. And then when it comes to joining their offer, joining their program, people get let down and annoyed because their program isn't delivering what they thought they were going to get out of it. And the best way you can build trust is by not just spitting out educational facts. How many times have you seen an unpopular opinion post that's actually incredibly popular and you've seen it said a million times? I roll my eyes most times when I see unpopular opinion because it's things I've seen a million times in my feed before. Yeah, that kind of content isn't going to cut it in 2025. If you want to stand out in your industry and you want to build trust with your community so that they go and check your page the first thing in the morning to see if you posted anything new yet or shared anything on your stories, if you want to be known, so when someone says, who do you work with? And they say your name, the other person goes, oh, wow, they've been on my vision board. If you want to post and get new email signups and people in your DMs, genuine comments, not the OMG, so inspiring ones people leave just to try to get your attention so they can sell to you, then you need to be weaving in relevant story points to build trust and stand out with every single post. And by the end of this episode, you're going to know how to figure out what those relevant story points are. And also, I'm going to be giving you those 10 different story prompts that you can use to get started creating this type of content. Again, this is something I've been using for 2 years now, and you can learn this method inside main character messaging, or of course, my signature program, Force of Nature, where you get that hands-on support with me. I'm literally digging my hands into your content every single day. We're getting on strategy calls, and we're mapping out the content that you need to be posting to get people into your offers. But for now, I'm going to be giving you those 10 starter prompts and giving you a really helpful tool. So most people, when I ask what their dream client is or who their dream client is, they'll tell me, oh, they're mom entrepreneurs or they're social media managers or they're coaches, but you aren't really able to tell me beyond that. And also, when I ask you what the number one transformation of your offer is, you might say, well, it depends. If it's this type of person, then they're going to get this result. If it's that type of person, they're going to get this result. And that lack of clarity right there is already making your content not specific enough to get those high level buyers that we want to get out of the woodwork joining your offers. They need that emotional connection. They need that trust. They need to know like you're speaking directly to them, like you've been reading their personal diary and you see exactly what they need to work on. And again, like saying, I help people make 10K months is not clear enough. That is incredibly vague. Everyone does that. Of course, people want to make 10K months. What we really need to nail on the head is the really fine, like in the moment problems they're dealing with on a daily basis. And we also want to highlight their dreams and aspirations. And you might have noticed that I did this in this podcast episode where I said you want to stand out in your industry and you want to build trust with your community so that people go and check your page first thing in the morning to see if you posted. You want to be known so that when someone asks you, who do you work with, they say your name and they go, oh, wow, they're on my vision board. Those lines right there are the future pacing, where I'm painting the picture, foreshadowing what's possible for you when you work with me. And again, this is something that I'm going to be breaking down inside this episode so that you can start weaving this into your post. And don't worry, you're still going to be creating educational content. You're still going to be showing up as an authority. I'd argue even more so with this exercise. And of course, you're still going to be sharing your opinions, because when you share this type of content, you become a thought leader, someone who isn't just finding the most viral hooks or scrolling for inspo before they create content. You're creating content directly from the source. You know your dream client so well. You know exactly what they need help with, what they are working on, what their aspirations are, and you're writing content speaking directly to them. It's almost like it's a heart-to-heart, a love letter directly to you or to them. So let's get into the exercise. In order to know your dream client on such a fine level, you need to actually know what they're going through, right? Most people get stuck on that really broad goal that they have, but they don't go deeper. They don't take it deeper. So I want you to put yourself in the director's chair, and we're going to direct your dream client's movie. So I want you to picture them as a main character in a movie. Think about like a 90s rom-com. I just watched one, I forget what it is called. Something about Prince Charming. It had like a Danish crown prince who goes to college in America. Anyways, they fall in love and she becomes queen, blah, blah, blah. But like the first, like 5 to 10 minutes of the movie is usually like this montage that's setting the scene. We're getting to know the characters, and we're also getting to know what their struggles are and what their aspirations are. So for example, in this movie that I just watched, we see her like being late to this wedding, and she's talking to her friends at the wedding saying like, oh my God, I can't believe another person just got married and it's just us. And then her friend's like, oh, actually I'm engaged too. And she's like, oh, I'm the last one, I'm all alone. And then we meet the crown prince of it's actually Denmark, and he is like this, like raunchy boy who's speeding around in his fancy car, and he's just like this snobby rich boy, and he's like watching these like Girls Gone Wild shows, and like I saying like I want to do that so I can meet hot girls. Like we're getting to know their characters. So I want you to think about who your dream client is, and I want you to picture just one person. What would their opening montage of the movie look like? For example, for my clients, this might look like my client wakes up in the morning. They have aspirations to be, in the 5 a.m. club or whatever, wake up super early, but they end up snoozing their alarm or spending an hour in bed. And the first thing they do when they wake up in their alarm is they grab their phone. They instantly go on their Instagram or their TikTok and they check their notifications. And they are expecting, in their mind, they're like, okay, this is it. My post from yesterday went viral, or it did really well. And I'm going to wake up to 100 different notifications, people joining my offers. They go to check their notifications, and it didn't happen. They're like frustrated. They're like, what the heck? My reel from yesterday only got 200 views. I thought it was going to be a hit. It's just as good as Coach Sally's. What's going on? They then go through, like, check their email. They check their TikTok, all the things. And they're like, same thing across the board. I didn't go viral. What gives? I didn't get any new clients. I'm working so hard. What gives? So then they go and they stalk. They cyber stalk their competitors. They cyber stalk Coach Sally. They go on to social media manager Sarah's page, and they're like, I don't get it. My content's just as good as hers. What's going on? And their self-doubt is raging. By the time they get out of bed, they're thinking like, oh my God, I have to post today, but I have no idea what to post. Like, what's even the point of posting? Because when I post, nothing happens. And they're dreaming about the day that they can post and get people into their DMs, like complete strangers that found them via their content, saying like, how can I work with you? Your content's so inspiring. You've been on my vision board. They also aspire to be someone who's well-known in their industry. They don't want to just kind of, fly by under the radar. They want to be in the spotlight. They want to be someone who's well-known. They want to be someone who's making a lot of money, like $20,000 to $30,000 cash months. They want to be someone who, they don't have any debt anymore. All their problems are paid for. They have more money than they would know what they need. They know what to do with. They're that rich auntie lifestyle, or maybe they have kids and they're like, no, our kids' college funds are already paid for. They're going on vacations and adventures, and like they're staying in a new fancy hotel every single week. Like they have that lifestyle for themselves. They visualize that for themselves. But right now they've been in the daily grind of posting consistently and not seeing results. So that is the snapshot of my dream client. And I want you to get to the level of detail. Like, I didn't say all the things, but I want you to get to the level of details of you're identifying different actions that they're taking on a daily basis. I also want you to identify different beliefs that they have or things that they're trying that's not working. So for example, let's say my main character is posting every single day and they see Coach Sally say, oh, if you want to be successful, you need to post 3 times a day. So she starts posting 3 times a day and is posting 3 times a day for weeks, and it's like starting to get burnt out and nothing is happening. These are all things that I can address in my content. I also want you to think about different limiting beliefs or beliefs that she's having, thoughts she's having or they're having, that's getting in their way. So for example, my dream client might be thinking something like, oh, well, I don't have the right branding, or it's because I'm not a pretty blonde girl, or it's because I'm too late to the game, or it's because I'm not posting enough, my following isn't high enough, I haven't gone viral yet. Like, I want you to focus on different beliefs that you want them to get over, unlearn, throw in the trash because it's just holding them back. Okay, so really take some time to dive into this exercise, and it's going to help you create content 10 times better, because now we have all of these points, these story points that we can attach stories to. So for example, let's say my dream client has the belief that she needs to have more followers before she can to sell out her launch. So I can tell the story about when my client Andrea was posting consistently. She had about 300 followers, I think. 300 followers, so not a large audience, definitely under 1,000. And she was posting consistently and was getting absolutely 0 bites for her one-on-one program. Then I can talk about what we did instead, because she was posting consistently, she thought she needed more followers. We focused on going deeper in her content using this storytelling method and really increasing her confidence in her offer, so that she showed up and talked about her offer like she was freaking amazing at what she does, because she was. And at the end of 30 days, she had 25 applications for her one-on-one program. So I can tell that story. My dream client has heard that they need to post more times a day to be more successful, that 1 time a day is enough. They should be posting 3 times a day. I can tell a story about how I tried posting 3 times a day for 90 days straight, and I didn't see any progress until I started using the storytelling. Can you see where I'm going now? So each of those like story plots that we just mapped out as the director of our main character's movie can be turned into a piece of content and we can bring in a story. When you weave in this story, not only are you addressing something that they're experiencing on a day-to-day basis, like a minute-by-minute basis, because we're getting really specific here, but you're also saying, hey, I've been there too, or hey, my client has been there too, and here's what we did differently to get different results. This is the type of content that makes someone instantly trust you. Because have you ever you've been scrolling on TikTok and someone says oh, I tried this product and here's my recommendations, I highly recommend it or whatever. And you're like, yeah, okay, I'm going to buy this. The reason why you trust them is because they're a real life person who has experienced it, who has gone through it and is recommending it. It's not AI. It's not a robot. It's not just the company selling it to you. It's like, hey, I've tried it and this works. This is what you're doing for your own offers. You're like, hey, guess what? I tried posting 3 times a day. It didn't work for me. But you know what did work for me? Using storytelling content to really drive trust with my community. So now someone who's posting 3 times a day and is feeling frustrated AF about it, who's feeling like they've tried everything and it's not working, is going to slow down. They're going to read my posts. They're going to resonate and trust me more because they're like, she tried what I tried and it didn't work for her either. Interesting, because it's not working for me. I thought I was broken because, it's working for this person, but it's not working for me and I've tried so hard. But hey, Coach Hannah is also saying that. Let me listen to what she has to say. Then they read my post and they realize, oh, okay, interesting storytelling. They're 90% more likely, I just pulled that number on my butt, but more likely to go to my profile, follow me, download my freebie, my free storytelling workshop, maybe check out my podcast, maybe buy one of my low ticket offers and dip their toes into my world. And most likely the people who dip their toes into my world end up being some of my high ticket clients. So don't worry if you get someone who joins your freebie, they can still end up being in your high ticket program. Do not lose faith on that. But can you see how that builds a layer of trust? The difference between someone who, let me see, I've got some examples on this. My recent post on Instagram, it's people don't actually give an F about your educational content. So let me pull up more examples here. So instead of saying something like 3 reasons why posting more isn't going to help you reach 10K months. We talked about this, right? So 10K months is a really vague goal. Of course, people want to hit 10K months, but what are they actually focused on? And also this is a really good example of just a boring educational post that ChatGPT can create, or you can just Google and it will give you the prompts here. So if we want to make this a little juicier and build in that level of trust and connection, you could say something like, I didn't hit 10K months by posting 3 times a day for 90 days straight. That actually caused my income to dip. Instead, I ... What did you do? Educate your audience. Or, for example, you can say an unpopular opinion post by saying email marketing isn't dead, which is okay, I've seen that a million times. Who cares? But instead, you could spice that up by leading with story and say, my client A was ready to cancel her Flowdesk subscription, but she decided to give it one more try, and we got her open rate to 50%. Can you see, someone could be thinking about canceling their email subscription because they feel like it's not doing anything for them. So they resonate with client A, who was going to cancel her Flowdesk subscription and tried it one more time, and then they got their open rate up to 50%. Can you see that? One more example here. Instead of saying how to lose 20 pounds with weightlifting, you can address the limiting belief that they're having and lead with story by saying, I used to think that this is just how I look due to genetics until I started doing this in the gym. So now we're targeting a very specific limiting belief that they have, that they'll never have their dream body because genetics just told them this is what they're going to look like. That they could work out every single day of the week and they could do all the diets, but they would never get that dream body because of their genetics. And you're saying, hey, I used to think that too until I changed this in the gym. This type of content is what's going to make you rich. Okay? This is the type of content that's going to get those high-level buyers out of the woodwork into your offers, into into your email list, into your leads, into your DMs. It's going to get people inside because they're like, "Ooh, tell me more. Ooh, I instantly trust this person because she went through something I went through." And she got results despite the obstacles. This is the type of content that got me $10,000 in sales in 4 days. Can I just take a few minutes to say thank you? I appreciate you taking the time to listen to the Wildly Free podcast. If you've been enjoying it, would you please consider leaving a review or taking a moment to share it on Instagram? Be sure to tag me. Each month, I'm drawing one lucky person who reviews or shares it on Instagram to win a free content intensive with me. If you're chosen, you'll be contacted via Instagram, so make sure you let me know you wrote a review. Then you'll be given a link to book your call with me. On the call, you'll get feedback on your content and we'll map out 30 post ideas you can use to sell your offer. Each time you share, you'll be entered in to win again. So come back each month for your chance to win. Thanks again for listening. Okay, let's get back to the episode. I want you to really get specific here. And I want you to pull specific stories. And again, like, it doesn't have to be a long-winded story, right? The stories that I told was just one line. I didn't hit 10K months by posting 3 times a day for 90 days straight. That actually caused my income to dip. Instead, so that's just one line. And then I go into my educational post. My client A was ready to cancel her Flowdesk subscription, but she decided to give it one more try and we got her open rate to 50%. That's just one line. The next slide is all about what they did differently to get the results. I used to think that this is just how I'd look due to genetics until I started doing this in the gym. I don't really tell any story more than that. I go into, if I was a fitness coach, I'd go into my process in the gym. Okay? So it does not have to be this long-winded, super wordy story. Start thinking them as story points, little bullet points of your story. We want to get specific, we want to get niche, and we want to be weaving in these story points with every single post. Okay, let's dive into the 10 different storytelling prompts that you can use. I'm going to go through these at rapid fire. So make sure you save this podcast episode and come back to it when you need to. And again, if you want to watch that storytelling workshop 101, it's free. I will link it below. Okay, number 1. Again, these prompts are not going to work if you're not specific. So make sure you go do those main character exercise before you do this, where you're visualizing your audience as the main character of a movie and directing their opening scene. Make sure you do that exercise first. Okay, number 1, what does your audience need to unlearn in order to see results? This is where we can bring in the story of they saw Coach Sally say, do this, but that's actually getting in their way of success. Number 2, what is something most people preached that you disagree with? Why? This is, again, where you're going to create that unpopular opinion, but actually. So Coach Sally says to post 3 times a day. You disagree with that. Why? Because you tried it and didn't work. Again, that's my story. Don't steal my story. But if you have a similar experience, go ahead and use it. What are other people saying online that you're like, this is absolute BS? Because it doesn't work. Here's what you need to do instead. Number 3, what is one unexpected way your offer has changed the life of one of your clients? Right? So like your clients, maybe your offer is all about how to make 10K months through social media management or something like that. But your clients had an unexpected win. So I can think of one of my clients, Chelsea. She came to me. She was a virtual assistant. She's a college student. And she came to me because she wanted to sign her first client. And we did a lot of work on mindset and confidence because she had this limiting belief that no one would want to buy from her because she's a college student. She thought because she didn't have a degree yet, she wasn't worthy of having clients. And we did so much mindset work that when she did sign her first clients and then some, she had completely unwritten or rewritten that belief into something more empowering. So although Chelsea came to me because she wanted to sign her first client, she left with the belief that she is worthy of having clients even though she didn't have a degree yet. So what is one unexpected way your offer has changed the life of one of your clients? Number 4, what's something you used to do that you no longer do? So this is like my story of I used to post 3 times a day because Coach Sally said to. And I said, if you want to be successful, just post more and then the algorithm will notice you and then you'll get more views or whatever and you'll go viral. That didn't work. So I don't do that anymore. I post 1 time a day and I make sure that post is incredible and it has tons of story points woven in and it's converting way more than it did when I was posting 3 times a day. So what's your version of that? Number 5, what is your vision for your clients? Where do you see them going? This is going back to those future foreshadowing points that I was talking about, where I opened the podcast by saying you want to stand out in your industry and you want to build trust with your community so that they go and check your page first thing in the morning to see if you posted anything new yet, or they are obsessively checking your stories because they love watching your stories. Or you want to be on someone's vision board, or you want every single time you post, you want to get new email signups, people in your DMs, genuine comments. You want to be known in your industry. You want people to know your name, that you want to be well respected. You don't want to just fly under the radar. Those are the type of things that I want you to talk about, what your vision is for your clients. My clients might come to me super shy and be like, I just want to make enough money to pay the bills, but they're going to leave because they're going to buy because there's a little tiny part of them that actually does want to be in the spotlight and does want to have that recognition. Okay, number 6, what are 3 to 5 big decisions you made that helped you get to where you are today? 3 to 5 big decisions. This is just straight up storytelling, right? Like, why did you make those decisions? Why was it such a big decision for you? And what was the outcome? Number 7, what is one action your dream client is trying to use to get results that you know isn't working for them, right? So my clients might be sending 10 DMs a day in hopes of them turning into a sales conversation. And I know it's making them lose followers. It's making them lose trust with their community because people are completely turned off by that. And instead, they could be creating trust with their content. Number 8, what's one thing you wish your client believed about themselves or their goal? So that, sure, they can make 10K or they can make enough money to pay the bills, but they also can make a shit ton of money. They also can make 50K months. They can be famous. They can host in-person events. They can walk on the stage. They can, be well known in their industry. This is what I want my clients to believe about themselves. Number 9, outline your framework and how a client used it to get results. This is really straight up selling, but we're selling with story. Outline what you do in your offers and how a specific client used that method and what the outcome was. This is an example, I could talk about my client Danny, who used my offer letter system, and it really cleaned up her offers so that she had more capacity to take on more clients, and she was able to scale her business. And she went from 3K months to 6K months. She literally doubled her income and then kept doubling. Okay, last one, number 10. Call your client out on something they're doing, thinking that's sabotaging their results. So when I say call out your client, I don't say your content sucks. We don't want to do mean girl marketing here. Instead, I want you to name something that they're doing that they're going to be whoa, how did she know that? So for example, I could say something like, calling yourself the marketing queen isn't going to help you sign more clients, but what will help you sign more clients is by creating trust with your community through story points. Or sending 10 DMs a day is not going to help you sign more clients, but what will is, talking about story points. Okay, so those are the 10 prompts. This episode is so value-packed. Honestly, I should probably charge you for it, but you've got it for free. You learned inside this episode the best type of content to get more sales and leads every single time you post. And you got 10 different prompts you can use to get started on creating this type of content. If you found this helpful, make sure you leave a review. Also, just pop me a DM and say hey, I just listened to your podcast and it was incredible. I love having those kind of DMs pop in, and I love having conversations about people enjoying the podcast. So just shoot me a DM. I'm always open to talking in the DMs. And again, if you are interested in having more hands-on support with your content, you need to be inside Force of Nature. Force of Nature is the best place to help you make more sales from your content. This is literally like what we do in here is insane. The amount of support, the amount of moves you're going to be making. You get daily support with me on your content and messaging strategy inside our private Slack group chat. You never have to ask yourself what you should be doing to sign your next client again, because this space is where you're going to get the guidance to create content, ask questions, get feedback, and work through limiting beliefs. Every other week, you're also going to get on a strategizing group call with me where we'll analyze your results. Like, we'll take a look at your content from last week. We'll analyze which one did well, what didn't do so well, and we'll map out a plan for you for the following week to get results. And then again, you never have to miss a strategy training, because you get access to my signature framework trainings like main character messaging, which this entire podcast episode was taken from that. So if you liked this episode, that entire course is going to blow your mind. That's included inside Force of Nature. If you wanted to just buy it by itself, that is a standalone program at $9.97. You also get access to Sell with Story, which was a 2-week program all about storytelling and using storytelling for sales. And you get access to my Standout Offer System, which is a cluster of masterclasses where you learn my offer ladder system and you learn how to create really scalable offers. All of this is included inside Force of Nature. This is the place for you to see things move. We're not just posting and hoping that your content takes off. We're posting and knowing this is exactly what your audience needs to see to see results. We're clarifying your offer messaging. We're going deeper in your content so that you grow your community that is hot and ready to buy. Every single time you drop an offer, you have people ready. You're going to learn the exact strategies that have helped countless people get dream clients that you've never even seen interact with you before. Like, you're going to get people who are like, hey, I literally just stumbled upon your account. How can I work with you? You're going to step out of your comfort zone in a major way and become a force to be reckoned with. I'm going to be pushing you constantly to go bigger, to take bigger steps, to see bigger visions for yourself. And all the energy you were wasting trying to figure out what you need to post to see results is now being focused in extra money generating activities that's going to propel your growth forward. And these are activities I'm giving the group to work on every single week. And of course, we're going to be refining your offers so that you have client retention and building monthly recurring revenue, and you're compiling a base of stories that you can pull from to create content that shows you as a bold leader and is going to help you sell out your offers without feeling overly salesy, right? So like this program is literally the best place to get results. This is like my bread and butter. This is where I spend all of my energy. The people inside Force of Nature get the most face time with me, apart from my one-on-one clients. The investment for this program, it's 6 months together. You can pay on a monthly payment plan, $697 for 6 months, or you can pay in full, $4,000. Just as a comparison, my one-on-one program is $1,497 per month, and that's a 6-month commitment. I believe that's $7,000 to work with me. Oh my God, don't quote me on that math. So this is it's an amazing deal. If you are looking to work with me, if you're looking to get some more face time with me and really get my hands on your content and show you what you're missing, point out where you can go deeper, where you can weave in more stories, where you can make things be a little bit more bold, this is the place to do it. So if you're interested in that, the next cohort is starting soon, and make sure you get inside. I do have a limited amount of spots available because of the support that I give inside this program. It's limited to 10 people only per cohort. So make sure you join if you're interested. I've linked the link to join below. Thanks so much for listening. I will catch you all next episode.